What research primarily is listening carefully. It's structured ways of listening to make sure that the ways that you're listening ensure that you get the most accurate information you can. I see enormous amount of work happening, of leadership occurring on the basis of some hunches. And very often those hunches are quite inaccurate, quite inappropriate, and miss the point because people haven't listened to other people.
It is the research and the information work that enables us to understand more about the world, but not just for the purpose of understanding, but to enable us to love the world that God has created and the people that He has created and He has put us among, in order that we can better carry out His commands to love the world and to love the people of the world.
Simply spending time with people, going to services, speaking with people after services, asking how they became Christians. And then also my second main method was to do extended life history interviews. So I would sit down with people perhaps over the course of a whole day, and we would have lunch as well, and then just ask them about their childhood, how they grew up, everything about their background and life, and then how they became a Christian.
One of the ways that we need to really cultivate the area of research within the global church, I think, is not even generating more information or generating new perspectives, but building up better relational connections between the different communities. When you have strong relationships, when you have trust between the decision makers and the analysts, the people who are looking at the information, then you really have an opportunity to move forward in healthy and wise and strategic ways.
The people who do the research are the ones who are changed by the research. Research really changes your perspective on stuff. Because it's true, you don't know what you don't know. And it's true that sometimes we have assumptions that are wrong. And when you are actually the person doing the research, and you have a vested interest in a ministry and its progress, and you actually take time to evaluate those things, then that changes you and makes you a better person to do that ministry.
Sometimes when you first ask someone a question, they're a little standoffish. Why do you want to know, and who are you? And but if you stay with it and they finally realize, oh, this person wants to listen. This person wants to know about my life, and they want to know what I believe. And there's a complete the tension and the barriers fall away, and suddenly they're pouring your heart out to you.
Just to hear from believers in every country talk about what the needs of their own church are. So that's research. I'm gathering information, I'm gathering data, but I'm also giving them a voice. I'm giving them a place to say, here's what's happening.
As the Spirit of God spoke to the church and spoke to missions researchers, we realized that there was a need for more qualitative kinds of research, more listening for innuendos and for nuances, and not just where the church is or is not. Who best understands the needs of the emerging MBB church? It's the Muslim background believers themselves. Part of our research emphasis is to help enhance the voice of Muslim background believers so they can articulate who they are. What is their identity? What are the issues that they grapple with? What are their needs? So that the worldwide church can be mobilized to assist them in the ways that they want to be assisted.